A seventh bus filled with migrants is on its way to the nation's capital. Texas Governor Greg Abbott is sending buses carrying immigrants to Washington, D.C. as a visual signal of the border crisis. White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki recently responded, saying it's nice the state of Texas is helping them get to their final destination as they await the outcome of their immigration proceedings. And joining me now is Alfonso Aguilar, president of the Latino Partnership for Conservative Principles. Alfonso, great to see you. Let's talk more about these buses arriving here in D.C. I'd like to get your thoughts on Governor Abbott's decision.
Well, I don't think it's going to make a big difference. So far, about 8 buses have arrived here in D.C., and I think the governor's doing mostly to bring attention to this issue. And I think he's been successful. We're talking about it. The reality is that Texas is being overrun by undocumented immigrants, and the federal government, the White House, is not doing anything to address the issue. If anything, it's making matters even worse. So I think that's why the governor is doing this, and I think it's getting attention.
Yeah. And Fox News reported recently that in 2021, the Border Patrol apprehended at least 23 people who are on the terror watch list, meaning that they are reasonably suspected of being involved in terrorist activities. I'd like to get your reaction to that.
Well, you know, our adversaries are always looking for our vulnerabilities, and now they see vulnerabilities at the southern border. That number is actually higher. We learned yesterday through Texas Congressman Chip Roy, that number is at least 42. So, and Jen Psaki reacted cynically, saying that, well, they were caught, they were detained. Those are the ones that have been detained. How many may have gotten in? For everyone that we detain, about 2 enter illegally. So our adversaries are seeing our border and are seeing an opportunity to get in the country, and I'm really concerned. Many experts are concerned. I'm hopeful that nothing bad will happen, but this is just really terrible. We're exposing ourselves to people who want to do harm in the U.S.
Yeah, it is very concerning. 26 Republican governors created the American Governors Border Strike Force, and that aims to stop criminal organizations' activity at the border. I want to talk about that. What more do you know about that? And do you think that it'll be able to create maybe a significant change at the border?
Well, again, it's very limited. I'm very encouraged by governors wanting to get involved, take action to disrupt criminal organizations working at the border, cartels. The truth is that they don't have enough resources. This is the role of the federal government. And frankly, the Biden administration is being derelict in duty. They're not enforcing the law. They're just processing people. They've changed their policy. Even in the past, Republican and Democratic administrations, they all worked at trying to secure the border, dissuade people from coming in, detaining people. This administration is moving from that to just processing people. For them, the border is about processing people. And the immigration system was never built to process so many people. And things are going to get worse when Title 42 ends, which is slated to end in May 23rd.
Alfonso, we have probably a little bit less than a minute left, but I want to get your take on this. The Customs and Border Patrol released its data for March showing fentanyl seizures increased by a whopping 55% just for that month. How concerned are you about the amount of illicit drugs that are crossing the border and the impact it's having, particularly on our young people?
It is awful. It is getting worse. In March, we received over 220,000 migrants. That's the highest number in 20 years. Now we see a similar increase in fentanyl. The bulk of opioids are coming through the southern border. This is terrible. And this is a situation that has been created by President Biden, who's not enforcing immigration law. He did away with common sense border security measures that President Trump put in place. The border is now porous, and that's why we see an increase in all sorts of crime, from drug trafficking to sex trafficking, child trafficking. And this incredible wave of migrants coming to the country is the responsibility of the president. It's time that he owns up to it and starts enforcing the law.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Alfonso, thank you so much for your time. Always appreciate your analysis.
Thank you.